Hello everyone, I'm Esha Mariz Padilla from BSTM 1101. So this video is all about eliminating risk and hazard in the hospitality industry. But before I start, let me first share to you the infographics that I made about eliminating risk and hazard in the hospitality industry. So here it is. My infographics has 3 parts. The first part is all about risk and hazard, and the second part is all about risk and hazard in a workplace and the possible outcome that we may encounter in a workplace if we didn't eliminate the risk and hazard. And why is it important to know the risk and hazard? And the third and the last part is all about how to eliminate risk and hazard in the hospitality industry. And why is it important to eliminate risk and hazard in a workplace or in a hospitality industry? Employees play an important role in every business because they are the one who make a product or provide a service in business. For me, business can provide a good quality of service and product without employees. Therefore, we need to keep our employees safe by eliminating risk or hazard in a workplace. But before we proceed in eliminating the risk or hazard, let us first determine the meaning of risk and hazard. So risk is a situation involving exposure to danger, while hazard is something that can cause harm if not controlled. According to my research, many people fail to distinguish between a hazard and risk. And there are also people who are confused about risk and hazard. They think that risk and hazard are the same. To further understand the risk and hazard, watch this clip.
When it comes to health, hazard is the possibility of something causing harm, while risk is the probability of harm occurring. Take a bottle of bleach. There's always the possibility of someone doing something stupid with it. But until they do that stupid thing, it's a hazard, not a risk. And whether the bleach is in the cupboard, on a shelf, or locked in an impenetrable vault, the hazard remains. Of course, as soon as someone does do something really stupid like drink the stuff, there's a real probability of them harming themselves. The hazard is transformed into a risk. Standing on the edge of a tall building is hazardous. Stepping off the edge is a risk. A hammer sitting on a workbench is a hazard. Using it is a risk, especially if you're cack-handed. A container of gasoline is a hazard. Pouring it while holding a candle is a risk. Of course, there's more to it than this, but the bottom line is that there's always something else that's needed to change a hazard into a risk.
So the clip shows the difference of risk and hazard. Therefore, risk and hazard are not the same. So let's now proceed in the risk and hazard that we may encounter in workplace and some of their possible outcomes. So since we are in a hospitality industry, our work is focusing in serving people. In our industry, there is a lot of hazard and risk that we may encounter in our daily work. Like for example, wet floor. Wet floor is a hazard. And when you try to walk in a wet floor, then that is a risk. And the possible outcome is you will be slipped. Another example is knife. Knife is a hazard. And when you try to use knife in chopping, then it is a risk. And the possible outcome is your hands can have a wound or cut. Another example is ladder. Ladder is hazard, and when you try to climb in a ladder, then that is a risk. And the possible outcome is you will fall. So in short, hazard is something that may cause harm, while risk is about exposing yourself to danger. And possible outcome is the harm that that results from an uncontrolled hazard. After learning the difference between risk and hazard, why do you think it is important? Or why it is important to know about risk and hazard? For me, determining risk and hazard is important because it will help us or the employees to prevent injuries or undesirable consequences. And also, it will protect our employees from any harm, and determining risk and hazard may also cause a safe workplace. Earlier, I showed you the difference between risk and hazard. So now, I'm gonna show to you how to eliminate risk and hazard in the workplace or in hospitality industry. So, like what I've said before, the safety of employees is very important in every business. So, in order to make sure that our employees is safe, we must eliminate the risk or hazard. I know that eliminating risk or hazard is not easy, but if we did our best, nothing is impossible. We can eliminate risk or hazard in hospitality industry by wearing proper attire or PPE, by correct or proper carrying of things, by putting harmful materials in a proper place, by removing objects in the hallway, by cleaning up the clutter, by putting caution sign, by regular safety inspection, by following safety protocols, and by attending training or seminar. Wearing proper attire or PPE is important, especially if you are working in food establishment as a cook, because there might be an instances that your hair may fall in food, and also wearing PPE will protect you from hazard. In our industry, we often carry heavy things which may cause injury. So to eliminate this kind of risk or hazard, we should carry heavy things properly or correctly, or we can use trolley. Put harmful materials in the proper places if not needed to prevent the undesirable consequences. Removing objects in the hallway can help to eliminate the risk or hazard because it can cause harm to those people who are passing by in the hallway. Putting caution sign will also help in eliminating risk or hazard because, for example, the floor is wet and it has a caution, so people will avoid that. Regular safety inspection is important in eliminating the risk or hazard because it will help to identify the hazard so we can assess and control the risk. In eliminating risk and hazard, following safety protocols is important because it also protects our employees from any harm, and when we are following or when employees following the safety protocols, we are already eliminating the risk or hazard. Employees should attend seminar or training for them to know or experience more. Attending training or seminar may help our employees to improve their skills and knowledge about their work and about their safety. After learning the ways of eliminating risk or hazard, why do you think it is important or why eliminating risk or hazard is important? Eliminating risk or hazard is important because it helps us to prevent injuries, accidents, and the other possible outcomes. And always remember that your safety starts with you. Again, I'm Esha Mariz A. Padilla from BSTM 1101.